My predictions started as a joke, but then they came true. What's on, guys? Jay Hoyd back with you today. Welcome back to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. We're here on Fortress on ranked play, playing some hardpoint, and we end up going off in this one, having a really good game, you know, by my recent standards. But we just made our predictions video for Major 3. It is now Monday for me. You guys are going to see this on Tuesday, and we are here with the results. The boys, I got their shirt on. The boys came through and end up making the finals after having a very difficult start to the tournament. But before we get to how Optic did as a whole, of course, we gotta get with the rest of the bracket. So, first round, first matchup of the winner's bracket had Seattle Surge versus LA Guerrillas. Seattle won that one 3-2. Not super surprising. The only thing I would be remotely surprised about is that LA Guerrillas won two matches, or two games out of that series, because Seattle has been looking decent, so LA has not. So I'm very surprised about that one. The next one, I think even more of a surprise, Atlanta FaZe versus LA Thieves. Atlanta 3-0. Now, not only, I think we predicted the upset in this one with LA Thieves winning it. LA Thieves, did you forget to spawn in or what? Like, this was a rematch from, was it last year's champs? Or something like that? Like, two very good teams. And to have just a 3-0 fashion? Whew. Either way, though, FaZe moves on against Surge. Thieves drop down along with LA Guerrillas. Another surprise from the first round, Boston Breach versus Optic Texas. Optic gets 3-0'd. They definitely did not look like themselves in that series. They just got outplayed in kind of every single way. Like, they just did not look good in that first matchup, but Boston did look good. They move on to the second round. Then you had Toronto Ultra versus New York Subliners. Kind of what you expected. Ultra win that one, although, you know, game 4... you know, could have been game 5. It was definitely a really good series to watch. Let's drop down, though. Round 1 of losers bracket. Vegas Legion and LA Guerrillas. I think this is the matchup we had, and I think I predicted the upset with Vegas winning. They ended up winning 3-1. They move on. Then you have the LA Thieves versus Minnesota Rocker. LA Thieves won 3-0. They move on. Here starts the run for Optic. They get to the losers bracket, end up facing off against London. London not in the greatest of spots. Only surprising thing about this series is Optic goes game 5, but they do end up winning. Like I said, in that game 5, they move on. Then you have Subliners versus Florida. Kind of an upset, if you will. I definitely would have predicted, I think I predicted New York to win that one. I think pretty sure I had Toronto winning that. But Florida does move on to the second round. So down to our top 8 teams, we have Seattle Surge and Atlanta FaZe. FaZe comes out in a Game 5 victory versus Seattle. Seattle drops down. Another Game 5, Boston Breach versus Toronto Ultra. Toronto wins that Game 5, sends Boston to the elimination bracket. So we have two really solid teams, Atlanta FaZe and Toronto Ultra, in the winners finals. But let's eliminate some more teams. We have the Vegas Legion versus the LA Thieves, and what would be usually the easiest of predictions. You'd usually predict LA Thieves 3-0. Vegas, though, flips the script. They end up winning in the game 4, knocking LA Thieves out in the second round of the elimination bracket. Now, LA Thieves, was it just an off event? Are they not at the top level right now? Or did Vegas just come out with the absolute fire and they just played really well for once? I'm not sure, but I can't believe I'm saying, but the Vegas Legion beat the LA Thieves. They move on to round 3. Second matchup for Optic Texas in the elimination bracket has them against Florida. Optic wins 3-1. They move on. Next matchup, Boston Breach versus the Vegas Legion. This one, you know, the Vegas Vegas one can only last so long. They end up getting 3-0'd by Boston. Boston moves into the Final Four. Optic Texas versus the Seattle Surge. Another good series for Optic. Get the 3-1 victory versus Seattle. Knocks Seattle out. Optic now top 4. A rematch from Winners Bracket Round 1. Optic versus Boston. Let's flip the script again. Optic Texas wins 3-1. Sends Boston home. Optic now top 3. So Optic await the loser of our next matchup. Atlanta FaZe versus Toronto Ultra. This one, I guess you want to call it an upset. I'm not exactly sure if it is one since both teams are very strong. Toronto Ultra ends up winning 3-1. Sends Atlanta down to the elimination bracket final for a chance to come back to the grand finals, where they meet up with Optic, the longtime rivals FaZe and Optic. What could be a better story for the Optic home major? Optic Texas 3-1 victory. Just incredible scenes from Optic, where they had a little bit of a slow start, obviously versus Boston, but then they beat London, who's not in the best of positions, but still they fought them pretty tough. Florida, who's always been giving them trouble. Seattle, who's always been a tough team. Boston, who's always been a tough team. FaZe, who is arguably one of our better teams in the league, or one of the best, I should say. And now we have a grand finals. Toronto Ultra versus Optic Texas. I know I was going absolutely nuts watching this series. Optic, Toronto, what could be better than them battling it out? Well, it would have been an Optic victory. But Toronto Ultra spoil the party. They end up winning 4-2 in the best of 7 grand finals. You know, it's always a heartbreak when that happens, but you know, finish aside second place, this was a huge event for Optic. Because if Optic would have placed terribly this event, I think there would have been questions about a roster change. And I hate to say that so early with Ghosty on the roster, but they haven't necessarily looked great or even much improved from when Illy was on the team. And honestly, I think Dashy plays better when he's not the main AR, where he's playing a little bit faster. So with Ghosty on the team, obviously I don't want to just insta be like, oh, this isn't working, you know, make that change, because then who knows how the new team's going to perform. But we leave it to ride out. That Ghosty's still in the team. They placed top 2. They definitely looked good. Just some, like, honestly, situational moments that could have changed the whole series. Like, it was very close. Some of the maps were very close. It was very good matches, very well played. Toronto just had that much better. Both rookies on each team. And like I said, it was one hell of a tournament. But like I said, with the rookies, with Optic, you know, seeing Scump out there, seeing Hex out there with Hitch's drum, even Hitch out there doing it. Crim6 made a special appearance. He is part of FaZe Clan currently with was like the F1 racing simulator thing. I'm not exactly sure how that all works, but you know, it was cool to see him out on the main stage. They had a little skit, if you will. So it was super cool seeing all the more legendary players in the game, you know, come out and make a special appearance. You know, a lot of the stuff I saw pictures-wise from the Optic event was super cool. Hopefully I get to experience that in Toronto if Ben and I end up going. I'm really hoping that ends up working out. Because if it was anything like this one, I think we broke some viewership records as well. I think Optic had 4 of the top 5, you know, viewers for the weekend. And like I said, it was an absolutely crazy event. I can't wait for the next one. But so I forgot to mention the final placements for the event will start at the bottom. 9th through 12th place, the Los Angeles Guerrillas, Minnesota Rocker, London Royal Ravens, and New York Subliners. All those teams, like I said, 9th, 12th, 0 prize money for them. 7th, 8th place, you have the Florida Mutineers and LA Thieves, both getting $10,000 each. 5th, 6th place, you have the Las Vegas Legion and the Seattle Surge. 5th, 6th getting $20,000 each. Boston Breach in 4th place getting $40,000. FaZe in 3rd getting $80,000. Optic Texas, which I still hate where they put Texas Optic. I get it, but it looks stupid. Nobody calls them Texas Optic. It's always Optic Texas. They get 2nd place, $120,000. And of course, congrats to the winners at Toronto. You know, I hate to say it, obviously, because it's not Optic, but congratulations, boys. You played it. You obviously earned it. You definitely played well, getting 1st place with $200,000 for them. But now, that's going to do it for today's video. If you did enjoy, hit the like button down below if you haven't yet. Or if you're brand new here, make sure to subscribe. Turn those post notifications on so you never miss an upload. And don't forget, you can always change your mind later. With all that being said, guys, we'll see you in the next one.
In the shadows.